in commercial, how many of you folks actually do business-to-business sales, like commercial sales? One, 2, 3, 4. Here's my thing about autoresponders. If you're building a relationship with someone and you're doing commercial sales, I don't recommend it. Because there is more high value to the relationship that you're building with someone in a commercial, more so than in a residential or into the common consumer. Yeah, it's kind of a debate, yeah.
In a way, it's just giving someone your business card.
Which I understand, yeah. But for me as a salesperson, what I've noticed is that, you know, yeah, I can give them my business card or they can find me in my bio, things like that. But that interpersonal relationship that you build by actually asking them more so something outside of business or something that's somewhat business related actually helps you out in the long run because you don't look traditional, you don't look camp. Because how many times do we get business cards? How many times do we see websites, things like that? You kind of add like a one-up advantage. But don't get me wrong, autoresponders are great. Every Synergy meeting that I go to, everybody's like, oh, I don't know, an autoresponder looks bad, blah, blah, blah. So that's what I'm saying. Any other questions? We good? So next one, what are we on? Rule 5. Kind of really disorganized ourselves in the last conversation. That's okay. Rule number 6, it is good for you to hear yes or no. And I bring that up in a sales perspective because a lot of folks live in the Hopa Hopa land. Everybody know what Hopa Hopa land?
Is that next door to LA?
No. Kind of, around the bend, you take the other one. The reason why I say Hopa Hopa land, I can't credit myself for actually getting this. I actually got it from another sales trainer who was teaching the Sandler system, but the Hopa Hopa land is, I hope I get that sale, I hope I get that sale, I hope I get that sale. What is that doing? That's wasting your
time.
Exactly. And time is your most valuable product. And so that's what Twitter's is great for, is that if you absolutely need to find someone, if they're just not getting back to you, say, look, I don't want to waste your time anymore. Are we good? Is it a go? Are we okay? And if they say no, not right now, hey, no feelings are hurt, at least you still have that relationship to fall back on. At least there's a possibility of actually restarting the conversation in the future, because you never know. Right now, maybe it's just the rough time of the financial situation. Right now, it's just the timing's bad. Right now, I don't see a value to my product or the things that you offer. Then that's fine. At least they give you the yes or no. But don't forget, though, if you're on Twitter with 140 characters, or if it's a person-to-person type of sale, don't forget to ask and close the sale. A lot of people give me that, wow, you ask to close a lot. Like, why do you do that? A, I don't want to be in Hopa Hopa land. I don't. B, it would be really nice to get that sale. And C, if they say no, why should I take it personal? What time is that going to waste? Let's move on. The cleaner pipeline that you have as far as prospective sales goes, the more efficient you become as a salesperson, right? The more sales you can close. The more possibilities for you to prospect that next customer that might bring you that $1 million sale. So that's why I always recommend, like, try to hear, say yes and say, or it's okay for you to hear no. But I did want to ask, does anybody remember the question or the phrase that I kind of started with in the beginning? And Ashley looks back.
Like I've got the notes.
Number 2. Expectations of the presentation.
Yes.
If you get a no from them, does it hurt your feelings? Kind of, maybe. Depends on what type of, because sales, just straight up, sales is only for certain people. Down, plain and simple. But if you hear no, okay, whatever. But if a customer, let's say for example, goes to Best Buy, and Best Buy says, no, I can't sell you that TV, I'm sorry. How much more does that person want to buy that TV? I got rejected, man. I really want that TV. That increases the likelihood of that buying. And so by me saying no to a person, whether or not it's on Twitter, I might be losing some points. I'm trying to regain it back. If I say no to a person and say, look, I can't help you out. I'm sorry. I just can't do that for you. And I just don't want to waste your time. Or I don't want to take your money because that's just not right for me to do. At least you built a good relationship and you're not lying to a person, which is a common thing salespeople get. They get lied to. Why do we get disrespected like that, right? Like how many times have you actually, we'll take the security person again. oh, they open the door, hi, I'm from, what's the name?
ABC Security.
ABC Security. I'm from ABC Security. I noticed that your house doesn't have a security system, blah, blah, blah. And how many times have you said, oh, I'm eating dinner right now. Can you come back later? Oh, okay. Sometimes they don't come back. But are you really eating dinner?
No.
Exactly. What'd you just do?
Well, I guess,
Yeah.
and waste their time.
And you wasted their time. That's why Twitter is good, because you don't waste the time of getting those lies. But at the same time, you shouldn't be rude too. Just say, hey, look, I don't want to waste your time, or I just don't want to take your money. If this is not going to work out for the both of us, then just don't do that. You'll notice whenever I'm working with some folks, I'll just say, hey, look, if the chamber's not a perfect fit for you, then I can't help you. And I have told that. And you'd be surprised about how that salesperson turns 360 and goes, whoa, wait, what has changed? Or, wait, how much can I actually save on a 20% discount at Office Depot? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. So, you see what I mean? Like, you turn the presentation around where you as a salesperson finally has that control. And you'd be surprised how that 140 characters can help, because you get that. You're like, oh, okay, well, I might actually be interested in the long run. And that has worked out for me for Twitter. So, for example, I had a prospective client that said, right now it's just, I'm a startup, I'm new, I just started this business, I'm low on funds. It's like, okay, well, I'm sorry to hear that, because we would have really loved you as a member. And, the fact that we do all these types of networking events, it's just too bad you won't take that advantage of that opportunity. A week later, comes back, you know what, I can actually join. Setting up the appointment tomorrow. Hopefully she's not lying to me by saying we'll set up an appointment tomorrow. Perfect example of how the sale can turn around. And for her, tweeting back to me was the quickest way she can get back. And it's the most non-personal way, because it's not like me going up to her going, hey, can we get a sale? Are we going to do it? Like the UPS guy.
And I don't know what it is, but it seems like people are more likely to say, now's not a good time for me for whatever, financially, whatever, it's not, on Twitter or Facebook than they are in an email.
You know why?
It's just, you get a much more honest response a lot of times.
You know why? Because it's easier. Everybody has this fear of being rejected. It sucks when you get dumped by a man. It sucks when someone tells you no. So is it easier for me to tell Patsy, no, you're not a good fit for me? Is it easier for me to say that to her face? Or is it easier for me to tell her through a computer?
But even in an email, people are more
Exactly.
likely, even in email, and I think it's the short, 140 characters, it's much easier for people to say, no, I can't do this right now, than if they have to do an email, they start feeling like, oh, I gotta make excuses, because I got all the room, I can write this big, long story. And on Twitter, I don't.
But that's a value for you as a customer or as a salesperson, sales professional, because you don't waste your time.
Right.
You move on, you find that next prospective client in your search bar or something like that. So, any other questions on that kind of topic? So I'm actually about to wrap up, and of course there's questions and answers afterwards, but we pretty much have been having a great discussion. But I was talking to some folks and I said, look, and I'll be very frank with you folks. I left the Albuquerque Journal because I love the newspaper industry. There's no doubt about that. I love the newspaper industry, but things were just a little bit financially difficult for me to stay and to put in a lot of work, because advertising has a lot of competition. And so that's why I left. And I wanted a better opportunity to maybe work for an organization, and it's been a great fit for me so far. I love working for the Chamber, there's no doubt about that. But one of the things that happened to me when I was at the Journal is someone told me, you're only good as your last sale.